It's the TMI on the ITV and radio network. Let's step up our conversation to another sector, which is the education sector. And Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebolo has introduced some far-reaching reforms in the state's education sector aimed at restoring discipline in schools, easing the financial burden on parents, and equipping students with practical skills for the future. The reforms announced through the Commissioner for Education, Dr. Padi Yamu, targets three key areas: exploitative graduation ceremonies, incessant textbook changes, and the absence of vocational skills in the school curriculum. Governor Okpebolo declared an end to elaborate graduation ceremonies in pre-nursery, nursery, primary, junior secondary schools, describing them as exploitative, frivolous, and unnecessary, and for too long, parents have been compelled to meet to these obligations without recourse to the financial implications and the overall consequences on the parents. And to help us make sense of these sweeping reforms, we have the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Edo State, Dr. Padi Yamu, joining us on the show via Zoom from Benin City. Dr. Padi Yamu, it's a delight to have you join us on the show this lovely Monday morning. And thank you so much.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, what is the response level of these reforms, particularly as it relates to the exploitative disposition of schools? I mean, the unbridled celebration of graduation parties for nursery and pre-nursery, and the frequent changes in textbooks. What's the level of response so far?
Okay, good morning once again. I think so far, the entire Edo State have been agog with joy. Parents are happy with this development because, as you mentioned, it's a long-standing issue that has thrown many under the box. So right now, with this policy, I think there is a sigh of relief, and having schools just come up with several charges. You are going to pay 200,000, 250,000 for nursery graduation, pay 300, 150. You have when you look at the manner in which these parties are being organized, if you check online and see some of the videos that is making rounds, you'll see that even the children of the rich who come there to display their vehicles, and the children of the average man will just sit back and watch, see if his parents has failed. Maybe he has failed by coming to the wrong family. So that's not the kind of culture that we preach. Some of these children are quite young; they don't even know what the future holds. Then you tax their parents, uh, exorbitant party fees. Then when they go there, they turn it into something else. Then if you talk about the books, you have four children. The elder one is going from primary 1 to primary 2. They won't the sibling coming behind cannot even use the textbooks because they mandate the child to write inside the textbook so that it will not be transferable. So these are some of the bottlenecks. We said no, we can't continue. A man will have 4 children. He will then have to, okay, one should go, the other should go and do something else. So that's not the Edo that His Excellency, the governor of Edo State, preaches. So we want a situation whereby we give every child a level playing field. Let parents who are passing through a lot, for them to even key into the agenda of the governor to send their children to school is even highly commendable. So we want to make it very attractive for everyone to send their children to school and get them educated. We're talking about cultism and other vices.
Okay.
Because the people lack education.
Okay.
So we want a drive where every parent, every child will have a level playing field and will have the opportunities to go to school, get educated, and achieve their dreams. Talking
All right.
about
All right.
talking,
Talk to me quickly, Dr. Padi. Talk to me quickly about the workability of these reforms. We say that in Nigeria is not always, the problem hasn't is not always about the laws or the reforms is about the workability and the monitoring. And these reforms, are they, related to public schools alone, or it cuts across both public and private schools? If that's the case, what efforts is your ministry putting in place to ensure that these reforms are adhered to strictly?
Okay, first and foremost, this morning, as you can see, I'm already dressed. I'm rushing out for a meeting. I'm having stakeholders meeting this morning. I have one by 9. I have another by 10. We're calling on all stakeholders, private school owners, the publishers, so we can roll out the blueprints. And there's going to be a monitoring team to ensure compliance, because it's not just, as you rightly said, it's not enough to make laws. There have to be proper monitoring and implementation. Well, we also created a help desk where schools that are not aligning in line with the policies can be reported. People, parents can call in, and we then swing into action. And anyone found liable, I'm sorry, we'll have to face punishing measures. We are going to be rolling that out this morning by having a conversation where we want to tell them we're not after anybody's business, but let's have a human face. If you're a private school owner, uh, enough of you have been having the party before now, but let's want to create an enabling environment where the son of a poor man can be able to dream, go to school, and achieve their dream. So, first of all, we're having stakeholders engagement, where we're going to be bringing them up to speed on what we want to do as it relates to the policy. We're going to be setting up also a monitoring team to also do a follow up. And this morning, I'm going to be inaugurating another committee called the Recycle Committee. We're going to be getting books, preaching this message, and even want to create a situation whereby we can have book fairs where people the rich can bring in the books of their children that we can send to the rural areas, so that those in the rural areas can also benefit and also see the need uh, of having a proper education. So these are some of the programs I'm going to roll out today. And in addition to what has earlier been mentioned, and as part of the implementation strategy.
Okay,
So,
and now you talked
your
about
question that
you
it is
talked
only
about
for private.
holding just a moment. You talked about holding a stakeholders meeting to look at all of these issues. Is this not tantamount to putting the horse before the cart, against the background that the decision has been made and it's been made public? We're probably trying to look at some of the shortcomings and all of that. What do you make of this in terms of its workability?
No, 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 no. It's not putting the cart before the horse because the government has taken a position. We don't have to consult. We don't have to take permission from any private individual to make laws or policies that will benefit the average man on the streets. So what the stakeholders meeting we're having this morning is to, because we have been having pockets of complaint only from the publishers and some of the private school owners that are taking this as a big market and a big business where they exchange money and all that. I've had people come to my office, publishers, okay, what can we give you? Blah, blah, blah. I said, come, we are not, this is not the time for that. You can't give me anything. What we are looking at is, okay, yes, this is what has been done. We are not, as I said earlier, we are not trying to close your shop. One of the issues we're also going to be raising today is the issue of the mushroom schools, where someone just sits down, you have a two-bedroom apartment, uncompleted, you just you give it a name, you start enrolling children into the school, and call it whatever. Then the next thing, you are not getting approval. Since we came on board, we give them a window. Come, I'm giving you a 6 months window. Go and put your house in order. So these are some of the things we're going to be discussing, because we want to make sure that the fabric of education in Edo State is not left to deteriorate. So these is just a matter of when you are as a father, if you have maybe you brought a law in your house and the children maybe one or two persons making noise, it just become. This is not. I didn't do this to spite you. This is the benefit of what we are doing. This is the if you with a situation whereby we continue in this light, we continue to have uh, people drop out of school and people not children not be motivated to go to school because they cannot compete with their mates in terms of bringing flashy cars, in terms of coming to show off, opening their cleavage, putting on ribbons, eyelashes. So this is not the Edo that we want. The governor passionately is fighting cultism, building schools, employing teachers. So let's have a level playing field for everybody. So that is the standard, and that's why we're having the meeting this morning and all that. So, in terms of the workability, I can assure you that with the measures we are putting in place, it will be it will be highly successful.
Okay, just before we let you go, we know you have other very other engagements for today. There's a concern that a far more greater problem in the education sector in Edo State is the challenge of quackery. Substandard schools everywhere, particularly on private schools. What is your ministry and the government of Edo State under Senator Mondo Ukpebolo doing to checkmate that? We haven't heard any concrete policy thrust in that direction or action to deal with the issue of quackery in the education sector in Edo State.
Okay, so as I earlier mentioned when I was talking, you see, the government of Edo State will have a human face. The governor has a human face. I've had meetings with them about 5 months ago, where we told everyone that go back and put your house in order. We don't want to just come up and start closing schools and start closing. Say, oh, you didn't tell us. Oh, we didn't. You were not giving prior notice and all that. So we are giving them a 6 months window. And this morning again, we're going to be reiterating that. We know that yes, it's your source of livelihood, but you have to step up. So we are all you have not heard us. You have not heard us wielding the big stick because we are giving them a level playing field. We are giving them the room to put their house in order. We said this 5 months ago, and we are going to reiterate it again today, so that upon resumption, we can then start the follow-up, and those who are not fit to own schools will be shown the back door. So it's gradual, and we are doing it. Whatever policy and programs that we're trying to implement, in as much as we're doing it for the good of the people, we're also ensuring that those that are going to be affected are given ample time to rescind their decision, check what they have been doing, make plans on how to step up before we show them the door to excuse us if they're not ready to up their game and improve the standards in line with the ministry's vision and the vision of Mr. Governor.
Then we'll be back to conclude this conversation with you in just a moment. Please stay with us. It's the TMI on the ITV network. Many thanks again for joining us on the program TMI on the ITV network this lovely Monday morning, the 25th day of August 2025. Our guest is the Commissioner for Education, Edo State, talking about some of the reforms that have been brought to bear to ensure that the narrative is changed for the best in the educational sector in Edo State. Dr. Paddy Emmanuel Iyamu is our guest. Many thanks again for rejoining us on the program. Let's quickly talk about the efforts being made to ensure that we rid the state of examination malpractice, which is something that is always there as a major challenge. What is your ministry doing in this regards?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, we're having meetings. One of the major ways we can cover that is to have everybody, both the stakeholders, the teachers, and everybody have their minds calibrated. We want to be having the sensitization where we tell both parents and principals, school owners, the danger of having such menace in our society. And secondly, we are aware of the CBT arrangements where that's, or if I would say, makes it very minimal, which it reduces it to allow us to low as reasonably practicable. Where people just are giving exam questions, and on the spot they have to quickly answer questions, devoid of having the opportunity where they can cheat. We want to build several CBT centers across the three centers and all that. Then, as for most of the whatever we have now, we want to make sure that schools, all those lecture theaters, we're also coming to that. They call it miracle centers. We're also coming to that too. We have programs, we have set up plans to have meetings with them, and we want to regulate some of the activities. Where people just sit down, you go to miracle centers, as they will call it, and the next thing you are giving leave to just cheat and get your certificate. What you are now sent to university, where you have to now do the real work to find them messing up and all that. So we're carrying out the sensitization across board to ensure that we reduce that the issue of malpractice across our schools.
There are concerns that work has been stopped at the education hub in Iyaro. How true is that? And what is this government doing to either complement what was done in the past or totally evaluate it and make it better in terms of infrastructures in public schools? We still find primary schools without roofs, without desks, without tables for pupils, dicto for secondary schools.
Okay, talking about schools that we find in across the state without roof, those are the schools left for us by the previous administration. Yes, because since we assumed office, we have been going across every community, every local government to see how we can change the narrative. His Excellency is passionate. If you have been watching online and even reading the print media, you see him going to these schools, nooks and crannies of Edo State, trying to see for himself. And as I speak to you, we are constructing over 60-something schools already. A typical case is that of Amide in the Bobava local government that was left. People defecate the criminal hideout. You go there now, you see the transformation that was done. We have state-of-the-art building, we have laboratories, so children don't have to just read how to carry out practicals theoretically. They now have a situation whereby they can practicalize what they have been taught. We entered into collaboration with SEPLAC and all that. You go to Edo Central, we have schools being renovated. Ira Girls, that was at its prime before, left to degrade, and in the state of squalor, it has been revived. We have Fuga Mix, we have Ojapule, we have Ile Primary and Secondary School. We have several of them across the state central zones. If you go to even what will even interest you is that one of the schools opposite the I don't know, they call it Kora City. The only school there, no roof, no seats, no windows. The governor, in his magnanimity, approved a school for them. We have changed the narrative there. We have built new schools, and as we speak, parents and even the children of the poor have a sense of belonging, because these construction modeling is going on day by day. As for the education hub you mentioned, we have not left it. They said they spent a whooping sum of I don't want to call figures, but you say you spent billions on a project. and the contractor is here to complete the project, we have to look at the books. If you're asking us for more money, we have to check what you have done. We have to check what has been paid to you. We have to check if you have to even refund us. I'm not just jumping to say we want to give you money to go and complete a project that you have been giving money to build and complete without checking the books to know if you have even done majority of what you have been paid to do. We have a typical case in one of the schools, the health centers. When I went there for a visit, I saw some of the project. I asked for some of the documents. And it's interesting to know that some persons were paid up to 90%, 95%. At the left side, immediately the government, the previous government elapsed. So I told them, you cannot take the money. It is Edo State government money. It's the Edo people's money. So you can't say because the previous government is no longer in existence, that you just go to your house and sit with that money. Go back to site and complete the project. And as I speak to you, they have gone back to site to work. So the same thing is going to be applicable into the education hub. And I assure you that once we have ascertained the level of work done with what was paid, that place will be completed for you. It's Edo State money, it's not anybody or any government money. So it will be put into use for the good of all.
My colleague in Abuja Network Studio, Ikaro, is joining this conversation and want to make one or two contributions. Ikaro, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sonny Duke. Nice seeing Dr. Paddy Iyamo there. I just have some question, if he may help us do some clarification here for some of us who really tour Edo State. Whenever we touch down from Abuja here, particularly areas where I know I have comparative knowledge, there is some of the schools, particularly my own alma mater in part of Owan West and Owan East, that are having lack of teachers. And one question I'll ask Dr. Paddy here, I know for sure that some of the teachers called me. There have been some who have been 4, 5, 6 years there as casual, and now employment is going on, and their concern is, are they sure that having worked for 5, 6, 7, 8 years down as casuals, now that you are employing, are you going to be capturing them? The other one is, the schools are currently on holidays. Yeah, we've seen some renovation work, some work being done speedily around some axes in my area around Osala, Uhomura, stretching down Sabongida, connecting part of Afuze down towards Otuo here. Are you speeding all of this up so that when the student comes back from the holiday, they won't be struggling with classroom not yet completed? But the other first one is, are you getting the casuals quickly employed, or are you just keeping them as casuals while you are bringing those who know somebody, who knows somebody, who knows somebody, who knows somebody?
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. You know, the government of Senator Mondo, we have, as I said, a human face. When we came on board, we saw that teachers, over 3,500, were left in that casual category. You bring in people into the system, and you call them, they call them Edo Star, and they have been there for 3 years. Okay, fast forward. I don't want to beat around the bush. Those set of people have been screened, have carried out screening for this set of people, and we are going to employ them. I can assure you that upon resumption, they will be employed. What we are doing now is to make sure that, you know, there are some of them that have left, there are some of them that are still in the system, there are some of them that have relocated. And so we have to do these biometrics, have to do this screening process where we can, okay, if you are in this category, come forward. Let's have you documented. Let's do a thorough screening exercise. We can't just say, okay, since we have 3,000, we're employing 3,000, okay, just move them into the civil service. No. So we need to carry out that screening, which has already reached the completion stage. So by September, I believe you are going to call me to say thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. And of course, we thank Mr. Governor, because he, as we have We have made a presentation to him, and he has said, okay, go ahead. And it won't even stop there. It won't stop there. We have some communities where the community they come together and get community teachers that help some schools to teach the children. We're also bringing those ones on board to see how, if you have been helping in the community, maybe you are being paid by well-meaning Nigerians or well-meaning members of the community that have been elevated by God. But this is the time we want to take up the burden. We have tried to come to the mainstream. So these and many more, some of the things that we are piloting presently to see that the schools are well equipped, because as what I would say, we want to build an education system where we have quality schools from quality teachers in quality buildings. Then going forward to the question you asked as regards the completion stage, we are accelerating the progress by having meetings with contractors, the building team. We go to do proper monitoring to see that we speed up the completion process so that the students don't come back to buildings without roof and without seats, as it were. So we understand this challenge. We understand this the essence of having a ready school before resumption. We are moving quite fast. So make sure that we nip this in the bud and accelerate the progress as required.
One of the major talking points about infrastructure development is the challenge of funding. What is the guarantee that some of these project initiatives that have been brought forth under the present administration, particularly in the educational sector, there's a guarantee that it will be brought to logical conclusion? Because we know that the challenge of abandoned project is a common thing in governance in Nigeria. What's the guarantee for funding, adequate funding for some of the schools that have been initiated under this administration in the education sector?
Okay, first and foremost, I will tell you for free, we must appreciate the tenacity and the passion of His Excellency the Governor. He's someone who is passionate. He tells me, even in private, and he said it even in public, that he would have not gotten to where he is today without education. And he understands the role education plays in the life of a child and the life, even in the life of a state. So he's paying serious attention to the education sector. He's making sure that we have enough funding. Even right now, the supplementary budget is also making a case for the House of Assembly to see how we can have more funding. Then again, we are happy with the synergy between the state and the federal government. When people see him talk about the president during the campaign or commissioning of projects, they don't understand, but some of us understand, because he's someone who goes to Mr. President to tell Mr. President, this is what we are doing, this is what we're doing, this is where we need help. And His Excellency, the President, has assured him that yes, in terms of leveraging on some of the opportunities at the center, we also get that. We had several meetings last week in Abuja with the performing Minister of Education, where some of these things were highlighted, and we are getting a lot of support from the presidency and all that. So funding, we're making arrangements, we're making in terms of supplementary at the state level, in terms of addressing some of the opportunities at federal. We're also doing that. If it's sad when people talk about the $75 million, if we had channeled those monies properly, that's almost 200 billion. If I channel those money properly, I believe we will not be talking about leaking roof without schools without seats and all that. But then again, we thank God for the leader we have, who is not looking back at another. We are not looking at one. We are moving on to see how we can affect the life of every child.
Okay, Ikaro is still on standby from Abuja. Network Studio. Iharo, over to you.
Let's take one now. You know, the teachers watching you from across the state will want to also ask you this. During the Oshomole era, there was this Red Roof Revolution. We saw school being renovated. At the end of the day, the issue was that, okay, we thank you very much for building the hardware. That the teachers themselves are the software that runs the system and make sure that they build leaders for tomorrow and also make men and girls into something great. The question they will be asking you here is, what is the special reward system for teachers? You know, many of them who had followed you since you came on board, having been sworn in on the 21st of January this year, are following you very closely. Because if we just oppose that with what transpired, I think yesterday or the before yesterday, when Governor Monday Okpewolo had to stop and reward a driver of, I think, a Don line, and it trend everywhere. How will the reward be for teachers who are waiting eagerly to also be part of the reward system, special reward system that will be coming in, so that they will not believe in that old text that their reward ends in heaven? What special reward are you bringing on board, Dr. Iyamu, for the teachers who are the software that runs the system?
Okay, thank you very much. We know that the building rather without the teacher is just an effort in futility. We understand the role the teacher plays. There's one slogan that I like mentioning when I engage some of them. Say, if you can read and write, thank your teacher. So they play a major role. And in terms of the reward system, by the end of the year, you are going to see what we're going to do. So we have a proper reward. First and foremost, the governor has made sure that he implements the minimum wage, and we have also raised it up from the normal 75, from the normal 70,000 to 75,000. So we have told every teacher, in terms of even capacity building, we are training them. As I speak to you, we are training over 6,000 in digital skills. You know, we also have a medium where we are also training them in terms of the superb arrangement, UPEC partnership, training them in geophonics and all that. Then, in terms of, I don't know if maybe you guys would have seen the reward system in during the Children's Day, where 2 buses, brand new buses, was given to the principal and students of Ogbe and Idia College. So we also have a system in place where we are also going to sample opinion from our children and across the schools, and the outstanding teachers will also be rewarded. You can count on that.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Paddy Iyamu, Honorary Commissioner for Education, Edo State, and big thanks to my colleague Iharo, who also joined the conversation from our Abuja Network Studio.
Duke, thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner for Education.
Okay, we'll take a break now.